Hello, I'm Eddie Obeng, and this is How. Daily, I bring you a different way to manage, change, drive, alternate your world so that it suits you better. Today, I want to talk about tails and how you use tails to get people to actually move through change. So let's jump on Cube and let's have a look and see what we can learn about the example point method. So here we are on Cube, where not only is the sun always shining, as you can see, people are also laughing. Let's see whether the sun is shining. Yeah, there's some blue sky up here. I can see some blue sky. Okay, example point. This is a cubicle we planned all change my book in, and I've just nicked the whiteboard. We call it the buyer's board because this is where we were planning the messaging. And I'm going to talk you through it. So let's walk our way through. I want to talk about change resistance. Change resistance is prevalent, unexpected. You're bored already, aren't you? Okay. And if that's what I want to say and I say it that way, you're already bored. I could say my main 2 points are people resist change because and you're still bored, aren't you? So let's look at another way of doing it. Let me tell you a story. I don't know whether you were around a couple of 100 million years ago, but basically there were only 2 types of jobs around in those days. And they were called hunters and gatherers. Let's pull up the, give me a second, drop, click, drop. Okay, great. They were called hunters and gatherers. Now, what's the job of a hunter and a gatherer? Their job is very simple. They wake up in the morning and they hunt and they gather. That's what they do. And when you're a hunter-gatherer and you set off for work, your other half says to you, "Goodbye, darling." And you say, "Yes, I'm just off hunting and gathering." They say, "Goodbye, darling. Can you bring some milk or your cup?" No, of course not. They give you a big hug. Why? Because hunting and gathering is a dangerous job. If you go out, there's a high probability you might not come back. Okay? And so they give you a big hug. So let's imagine you're out hunting and gathering, and all of a sudden, out of the bushes bursts saber-tooth tiger. Okay? Wow, it's coming towards you. Now, what happens very quickly is you don't do what they tell you as a human being you're supposed to do when you watch the Discovery Channel. Discovery Channel will tell you that human beings have got big brains, they work in teams, they have opposable thumbs, therefore, blah, blah, blah. No. When the saber-tooth tiger bursts out of the bushes at you, 3 things happen very fast. The first most important thing is I'm trying to draw a hedge. If it looks like Homer Simpson, it's just a mistake. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, let's give him a smile. Okay. The first thing which happens is as the saber-tooth surprises you, bursts out of there's a little switch in your brain here. It's called the amygdala. Okay. And that surprise literally flips to off and it turns off all the front bit of your brain here, the sort of the cortex-y bit. Okay. Why is that important? Because that little switch, which is triggered here where your amygdala is, turns off your logic. So when the saber-toothed tiger bursts out of the bushes, you don't suddenly say to yourself, "Oh, that's a saber-toothed tiger. I've got to..." No. Your brain is off. You can't talk about it. You can't think about it. Second thing it does really quickly is it turns your emotions on. All of a sudden, oh my goodness, I'm now scared. Okay, you're scared. You just fear. Why? Why is fear important? Because when you're frightened, you're in the moment. Your emotions make you focus on now, not the future. You don't go, "Oh, maybe tomorrow if I'm not eating by then." No, it's about today. And then it pumps you full of drugs, basically something called adrenaline and some other stuff as well. And your eyes widen and your heart beats more, and then you can really run. Now, this is designed into us every time we have a surprise. That's why when you go into a meeting and somebody announces something you were not expecting, okay, I know it's not a saber-tooth tiger, and I know you don't leap up and run out of the room, but immediately you try to answer and you can't think of anything. Has that happened to you? Yeah. And you go up, and you can't think of what to say. So you say something, "Well, of course, one must look at the AI implication," and rubbish comes out of your mouth because your brain is off, okay? Then you go home, you have a beer, you have a shower, you have a cup of coffee, whatever it is, and then you go, "Damn, what I should have said was..." That's because by the time you've gone through the process at home, it's the same as the saber-tooth tiger. All the drugs have left your system, the emotions have come down, and your brain switches back on. Now, why am I telling you this? Because you'll understand that you're evolved not to be surprised by change. But there's another funny thing about it. Have you ever had a brilliant idea where you suddenly gone, "Yeah, this is a road. really amazing idea. It's supposed to be a light bulb, by the way. And immediately you've had this idea, you want to tell people. So you rush off to your team and you go, hey, look at my lovely idea. Okay. The reason we call ideas your baby is because you literally fall in love with them. You see, there's a second mechanism in your brain. There's one which is the amygdala, which turns it off. There's a second mechanism where when you think of something, you literally fall in love with it and try and turn it into more food. It's a really useful hunter-gatherer trick, because if you figure out how to do something, you burnt all that energy in your brain, you might as well turn it into food. So you say to your team, hey, look at this wonderful idea. So you present your lovely idea to them. Bad news. They see it as a saber-toothed tiger. So their brains switch off. So you present this lovely baby. Go, look at my lovely baby with the beautiful eyes, you say. And they go, oh, as they look at it, they see a saber-toothed tiger. And they go, it's ugly. And you go, no, it's not ugly. And then you start to try and argue logically. Now, I told you, the saber-toothed tiger turns off the logical brain. So all your logical arguing, they literally can't hear you. All they hear is, shh, okay? And so you're arguing logically and nothing is going in. They cannot hear you. And if you're the boss, of course, they work out that you're getting stressed. So they go, oh, yes, yeah. They go, yeah, great idea. We really like it, okay? And then when they leave the room, they're all sort of whispering to each other, ugly baby, really ugly baby. Sometimes one person will stay back and that person will say to you, hey, this idea you presented, this baby you have, it's like something I was thinking of myself. Can I work on it? What they're basically saying is they too have had an idea. They too are in love with their idea. And can they have some of your baby food to feed their baby? Not yours. So once you understand that, you've understood everything you need to know about how human beings resist change. And at the same time, you've understood why it's so difficult to move forward. So I wanted to tell you about how difficult change was. I could have made my 2 points. What I did instead was I told you the story about the hunter-gatherer. So now you understand how surprise triggers, switches off logic, brings in emotion, fills you full of all sorts of things, adrenaline, cortisol, and stuff like that. Then I told you about the surprise meeting. So it's like I'm not teaching you anything at all. I'm just telling you tales. Surprise meeting where your brain goes off, you can't think of anything, and then the shower, you say, I should have said, etc., and so on and so on. Then I made the point that people do react emotionally, and they can't be engaged in logic. Now, because of these two, you're going, yeah, of course, don't be silly, Eddie, we know that. And then I told you the ugly baby story, and after that, you realize that people will create change and they'll constrain change, and that's what we call the third law of change. And so I'm trying to teach you something, but I've done it example and point. When you were at school, they always did the other way around. Why? Many reasons, but I think it's because teachers like to be seen as clever, and keynote presenters want you to think that they're really smart. See, if you present the examples before the point, it's almost like it's not you really who are the clever one. But if you want to show people how clever you are, you go, well, I've got this really important point, and here are my facts to illustrate it. So what's happening there is we have to flip it around, and that's example point. So from now on, example followed by point. This pet, by the way, was invented and popularized by Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago. Best teacher ever, and just copy. Okay, quick guide up above, and subscribe to the newsletter. Thank you very much. I've been Eddie Obeng.